Welcome back. Cindy Dole here along with my buddy Eric Stromer. Home Wizards is on the road today. We are broadcasting live from the Dwell on Design event. What is that? Well, it's basically everything that is modern, but in an attainable and fun and sustainable and affordable way. I mean, I think a lot of times when you think of modern, you might think of something that's kind of almost, well, as we've been talking, kind of like in a museum. And so now we're hearing, really there's ways that you can do this and be stylish and chic, but also have things in your home and in your garden that are smart for the environment and for your family. Right,
That's
Eric?
right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yes.
Right. So what do you think about prefab homes?
I love this new home that I've just seen from this person that we're about to speak to.
Yep.
I saw a great thing on their website that showed sort of a time-lapse way that this house is constructed, and you realize it's totally different than it used to be.
But I mean, the stereotypical prefab is like, oh my gosh,
oh my
it's a
God,
cookie cutter, right?
I've been relegated to live in a prefab home. I feel so bad for me.
It has a little bit of an image,
exactly.
But enter this company that has really taken it to new heights, BLU Homes, and with us is Maura McCarthy, and she's the founder. So thanks for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm very happy to be
now,
here.
how did you decide to get into the whole prefab home? What inspired you to do that anyway?
Well, I think when my co-founder Bill Haney and I founded the company in 2007, we did a lot of research about what was sort of the historical limitations of prefab. And at the same time, Americans were starting to, there was a recession beginning in the housing market, and Americans were starting to think about moving from McMansions to, better, smaller scale homes that were also more connected with nature and that sort of thing, and more healthy. So we really were looking at prefab as a way to achieve that. We were saying, like, how do we actually do smaller, more beautiful homes? And my role was sort of in researching with MIT and the Rhode Island School of Design, what was the history of prefab in the U.S. and why are there 75% of homes in Scandinavia? Why are those prefab, and why haven't prefab homes sort of taken off here?
And so what's the answer? It wasn't fashionable. It wasn't.
The answer, I think, is that no, it's not so much. Well, there was the history of kind of the traditional mobile home industry, which is very old school and not what we're doing now. But I think the bigger answer was that it takes a lot of logistics to figure out how to actually make the process much simpler. So we did all this research to figure out how do we make it actually work across the country. We can ship it anywhere. We can put it in any seismic zone or snow zone. And that's where we came up with this folding technology and with the steel frames and with the kind of healthier, better homes that could be delivered across the country.
So right now, a lot of people are dealing with the possibility of losing their home, hopefully not, or they're just really upside down. How can living in a BLU home or in a prefab home that you guys have designed that's so cool be something that is attainable, is perhaps affordable? Maybe it is their solution.
Yeah. Well, we have a bunch of different kinds of people who buy our homes. So we have people who are downsizing buying our homes. So people who are going from a big McMansion into, they want something beautiful with high ceilings, but it's sort of smaller living. We have folks that are basically doing second homes and that they might move into eventually. So they're saying, gosh, I love the city of LA, but I've always loved this piece of land in San Luis Obispo, and I want to eventually live there, so I'm going to build a small little cool home now, and then eventually I'll make my way out there.
That's your retirement home. That's your vacation.
Yes.
And also, I think the main thing for me is the aesthetics of this home you're speaking of. It's something that I really would want to own. I mean, it doesn't look like a traditional box house that you want to die because you're inside of it. This actually has really, you've honored some architectural significance, and the design style itself makes it really appealing. And the way that it's assembled, you've got those wide spans so that it's big and open and airy, and it just feels like a great space.
Yeah, and I think these homes look great in California. They look great in LA. They've been compared to Eichler homes. They've been compared to Frank Lloyd Wright style homes.
So they are very modern.
They're very modern, but they have warm materials. So they're modern, but they aren't stark. They're modern, but they use sort of almost an Asian style, connection with nature. We use a lot of natural materials. You've probably seen lots of pictures with the cedar siding and different kinds of, natural products in the interior. So, I mean, one of our big moves was, as a company, was we wanted to do prefab, but we wanted it to be bigger, higher ceilings. So our prefab spaces are between 18 to 21 feet wide, and we can double and triple those spaces. And our ceiling heights, these are not 8-foot high ceilings. These are 12, 13, 14, 15-foot high ceilings with beautiful windows, lots of glass. I mean, people really want to sort of experience the outdoors now with homes.
And then tell me about the time frame in terms of from ordering to completion of the house compared to like traditional building, for example.
Well, anyone who's built or remodeled in California or anywhere else has suffered. So, I mean, the kind of, as you know, I know that you've done a lot of remodeling shows about this, Eric.
Right.
So our homes are built in the factory in 6 to 8 weeks. They're shipped in a day, they're set in a day, and our team finishes them in 10 days. And that's crucial, or under 10 days. That's really important because our company, basically from soup to nuts, works with you from throughout the whole process. This is not something where you're going to be left on the side.
And when you say work with us, we're going to get a chance to almost like dive into the home via this 3D virtual reality experience.
So we're the only company now.
Talk about that. What is this thing?
Is that like a holographic imagery or something?
Well, not yet. We're working on the holograms.
I want to live within this thing.
It's, so a lot of people want to personalize how they live. They want to, I've heard, Kathy Ireland earlier and Mariel Hemingway. I mean, people want to have some sort of control over how their homes get built. And what we realize is that a lot of couples, as an example, the man in the couple will be, he won't be able to understand the 3D stuff, but the woman will be able to kind of visualize. Usually in a couple, one person can really visualize and one person can't. And that's just a very common theme. What we did was we actually used the same technology literally as Virgin Galactic, as Boeing, as Ford Motor Company. We designed these 3D models where people can fly into the model, they can go into the kitchen, and they can literally choose which countertop do I want, which cabinetry do I want, and they can see it in 3D, so they're not asked to kind of look at floor plans and guess. They can actually go and look and see and feel how the house is going to.
And maybe make selections in terms of the materials and the style and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so we use lots of, wonderful eco-friendly materials, non-toxic cabinetry.
You know what's great about that too? I think, like you said, you're asking people to understand and learn how to read a plan view of things, and most people who are not in the trade understand that. So I think that's a great feature to give you the ability to really feel and live what this is going to be like.
And it's probably shattering a lot of myths about the prefab home, because once you can really get in there and almost taste it, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're here at the Dwell Show as an example, and we have these huge computer monitors up, and we have clients stopping by,
and they're going, "Whoa!"
And they can literally walk into the room like a video game and say, "Oh my gosh, the ceilings are really high. These are 15-foot high ceilings. This is not a prefab that has like low quality 8-foot ceilings, or it doesn't feel narrow." So these are beautiful green buildings that people can, understand.
Can you give us a price point, kind of a sense?
Yes, we do. So our homes are anywhere from $95,000 to about $500,000. Okay. So people can do small granny flats, multi-generational living, kind of small.
So really, all
fun
price
homes.
points. I mean, there's a great variety.
Yeah.
And your website. So people can see.
Yes, our website is www.BLUHOMES.
So no
it's
E.
Blue Homes, no E on the blue.
Okay.
Bleu.
Bleu. All right.
Bleu.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm excited. I'm going to go over and check out the little 3D experience. Maura?
Everyone who sees one wants one. I mean, they see them, and I think to Eric's point, these are beautiful structures. They are beautiful, cool buildings. Everyone who sees one's like, oh my God, I have a piece of land and I want to build one.
Fun. Thank you, Maura.
So
very exciting.
Up
next, the fun continues as we broadcast live from the Dwell on Design event. Cindy Dole with Eric Stromer here. We're going to talk next about the biggest refrigerator you can imagine. Wait till you hear about that. And can you imagine an app to also help you figure out if your appliances need some repairs? Can you imagine that, Eric?
I can't. I can't even imagine it.
That's next. Don't you go away. This is KFWB News Talk 980.